make fun of anybody, because we really do want to hear, but at the same time, how do you feel about these folks over here? We just take your picture here. These are punkers, although I've already been corrected. That's not what they want to be called, people. Most are teenagers. Most are. Not all of you. What do you think? Stand up a second.
I don't know. I think they're going against society, but they've all got their own group of what they're doing. If it were my child, he wouldn't live in my house looking like that. That is for sure. No way.
What would you do?
Well,
You wouldn't throw your own child out for a look.
Yes.
Huh? You would? You would?
and if he had purple hair, it could be cut in the middle of the night if I couldn't hold him down to cut it.
Excuse me. Aren't we obliged as parents to love our children unconditionally? I mean, stand up just a second. I'm sorry.
My children, but I don't want one that's got purple hair standing up, or
They made...
a daughter that might be on drugs. I'd rather see her on drugs than that. I'd rather see her on nothing. Well, I can maybe do something about the drugs. I maybe could have her in an institution and help her.
You're not suggesting these folks should be committed.
I don't care what they do as long as they aren't around me.
Look, as long... I agree with you that they do look bizarre. They look different.
Bizarre.
Well, how do you know? You don't know anything about them. You're just making a judgment on the basis.
How could any mother or father stand up beside that child and say, "This is my baby"?
In other words, they have to look like us and conform.
Yes.
My mother loves me.
Say something.
Yeah.
I think that's being prejudiced. I really do. I'm curious about them. I don't understand, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'd like to know if they have any problems getting jobs where they get go to an interview looking like that.
An interview for a job?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for them. They maybe have something have happened in their life that they want to be noticed. They want attention.
Yeah. Really. What is the story, friends? Who wants to pick up here? Why are you doing this? You want to stand up for a second? Yeah. It's what?
Well, against a lot of things that society has stood for several decades.
Some of the things that you're upset.
Well, planned obsolescence, for one thing.
We manufacture things that'll break so that we can sell them a new thing later on.
Sure, keep the people, you know, the corporations keep them in control.
But with your considerable talent, you already demonstrate a good deal of talent. You're verbally skillful, and you know, you have no physical handicaps. Why don't you bring your, and you're a musician, all right, why don't you bring your talents to changing that?
Well, there's a lot of ways of doing that, you know. First of all, you can try to gather people around an idea.
But is there something productive about them?
Well, there's safety in numbers, for one thing. Yeah. And a lot of times you get discouraged just trying to do something by yourself.
We all do. Excuse me for making this big bromide, but everybody does.
Yeah, right. Well, so, well, not to leave out what Cindy said, there's a lot of fun in it.
It is fun, yeah. Okay. I wonder if I could encourage you to stand for just a second? Do you mind? You feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. I do. I feel that I don't see why people have to ban anybody that's different or different from them, because we're all people, you know. We're all in this together, you know. It's like, why can't people come together and, like...
Are you angry?
Yeah, I'm angry that people say, well, my daughter, I want her out of the house, you know. She's my baby. Why she looks like that, you know?
What do you think about that?
I think it's really bad, you know. They think they're epitome of civilization, you know. Why do they think that they're so great that they have to say, just because somebody's different, that they have to say, well, they're bad, you know, they're on drugs or anything.
Yeah. May I ask how old you are?
23. Yeah.
And how long have you been in the punk scene?
Well, I'm not in any punk scene. I'm like, I don't like to be put under any labels, you know. I'm a person, you know. I like to do what I want to do, and so I do it, you know.
You graduated from high school?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't go to college?
No, I don't.
Okay. What are you going to do with your life? Do you know? Do you...
I'm a musician, actually.
You're a musician?
Yeah, right.
And you hope to make a living as it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, stay with us, and we have other... Jeff Hackert is here. Jeff, you're how old? 16?
Mm-hmm.
we had a picture of you just 2 years ago. I'm not sure where it is. You're here with your mom, Nancy Hackert Pedraza. You're from California. Mom, what are your thoughts?
Well, I have to disagree with the lady that said that she would kick her child out of the house. Jeff ran away, and I tried all I could do to get him back home, because he may look different, he may act different, but he's my son, and I want him home.
You'd like him to... Are you hoping this is a phase?
Yes.
Are you scared?
Yes, I am.
What are you scared of?
I want Jeff to be a productive citizen, and I'm afraid of the violence. I'm afraid of the drugs that are involved with this. I'm afraid of the self-mutilation that these kids are doing to themselves, and I don't want that to happen to Jeff.
Also here is Serena Dank. You are youth counselor and founder of Parents of Punkers. You are also from California.
Yes, I am. I guess one of the things while you were talking to the young men and women in the audience that I would like to say to you, one of the problems that I've been seeing is that in California, and I've been finding out that it's not only in California, it's a very young movement. We're talking about 12, 13, and 14-year-olds, and a lot of the messages that you guys are saying, it's just too sophisticated for a 12, 13, or 14-year-old.
In other words, you're worried about the real immature people that they might attract who are not capable.
It attracts a lot of young people. It attracts people that just don't know how to digest the message.
You know, sometimes it's not so much what's being said in any of the songs. You know, these kids, like you're talking about California, hey, you know, what's going on in California that is making them turn away from their parents or what they're given? It's not always just the music or the words.
Okay, I don't really view it as only happening in California. As I've done some talk shows and all over the country, and I found out that it is happening everywhere. And you set the example, and there are young kids that are attracted to this, and they don't know what to do with it. And what happens is, when I first met Robbie was rejecting everybody. She rejected her family, she rejected the schools, she rejected everybody around her. She was extremely hostile, and that's how she digested the message.
Robbie is 16. You're out of this now, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you shave all your hair off?
Yeah.
You must have made your folks hysterical.
Well, it was just my father, and he didn't know what was going on, you know. He just kind of stood there and just went, "Why'd you do that?" You know. But he didn't realize, and then when I just, like, started hating everybody and wouldn't be home or nothing, got worried.
Why do you suppose this happened to you?
I don't know. I just couldn't, I didn't like anything else.
Tell me what you didn't like.
I didn't like being bored and hanging around people that I didn't like and doing stupid things that I didn't like. I mean, I wanted to have fun.
Ursula Lutkengo is here.
Lutkengo.
You are in Parents of Punkers as well. You're the mother of a 17-year-old son who is now in the punk movement.
Yes, he is.
And what do you bring to this discussion?
Well, he was 14 and a half when he started out, and in the beginning it was okay, you know, it was just the music, and then it was the dress. Okay, I could still accept that. It was strange at first to walk with him in the street and people staring at you, talking at you in front or behind you. But I got used to that, and I said, okay, if that's his statement, if he wants to be different than society, that's his thing. But then it started with staying out nights, not coming home. I never knew where he was. He came home mutilated. He has broken his hands 5 times. By now, he wears these things to dance, plus belts.
Let me show them what you're talking about here.
Show them around.
Now, hold this for me. Just you have to hold it up.
Yes, I will.
This is, apparently you put this on your...
On the wrist.
On the wrist,
yes.
And then as you dance, you
slam.
It's slam dancing. And the idea is to what? To injure the other person, or?
Yeah. No. All right.
All right. Tell me what the... Yeah.
All right. I don't wear these things, okay? But the thing is, okay, when we're gonna like dance around, okay, it's not to hurt people. It gets physical and stuff, right? But it's only like to have a good time, okay? There's a lot of body contact, but if like I'm out there and I see like a fight starting, especially if it's somebody I don't know, I'm gonna go over and try and settle things down, you know?
You've got this to help do that?
No, I don't wear those.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah.
This is like, you just go out and you have fun. Like if somebody falls on the floor, you know, they could get trampled or something, but everybody will always help you up, you know. Nobody will let you get down there and get your head smashed. Nobody's out to beat anybody's head in.
Okay, but I don't understand the hurt part of it.
It's like football.
I've seen a lot more people hurt in a high school or college football game than any night or any month of anybody dancing anywhere.
Why are you wearing the bracelets? I'm curious.
Why?
Uh-huh.
Jewelry. I like it. I like the way it looks.
When you slam dance, do you use your bracelets?
Not consciously, no. It's not a question of me going out there and trying to maim my friends. That's not the issue. If someone gets hurt, it's very seldom, it's an accident, or it's because they're clumsy.
Let me show you a piece of tape, if we can, of what's the matter? You want to see that, huh? This is from, excuse me, this is from a movie titled The Decline of Western Civilization. And these are the Penelope Spheres, huh? This is a punk rock group. Here's just to give you a sense of the ambience of a punk rock event. What's the matter?
The band is called the Circle Jerks. Penelope Spheres made the movie.
The Penelope Spheres made the movie.
Yes.
The band we're about to see is called what?
Circle
The Circle Jerks. Roll tape. Drugs, if the dancers are stoned or otherwise mind-altered, throw in a little music, a couple of macho personalities, and you've got an inflammable situation. True?
The kids do not take drugs. Most of the people that are into this are against drugs. They're anti-drugs. They're even anti-drink lately. They're not into that at all.
Come on, Robbie.
But in California, it's different. I mean, everybody is wasted all the time, and you see 13 and 14-year-old kids that are wasted. I mean,
I just went to a club on Friday night, and when I walked in, I was in a fairly good mood. When I walked out, I was so angry. What happened was it was just body to body, and while I was standing there, I was just innocently looking, you know, around, whatever, and I got beer shot in my face and obscenities.
Good. Right. You say good? Yeah. Why would you say good? Why would it be? Why?
Yeah, she's where she doesn't belong. She's
I do have to go there. If I'm going to work with you guys, I feel it's my responsibility.
She's there being a spectator and to pass judgment, and we don't want it. Stay away.
Wait, who doesn't belong? She's a person just like you.
We're
She
people
belongs
just like
as
you
much
are.
as you
We
do.
belong there just like you belong right here.
Just like if I went into some disco club, I'm sure I'd hear punk rock, B-52s. Hey, why do you look like that? Devo, you know? I mean, it's the same thing.
Don't you feel it's my responsibility if I want to work with you guys or I want to work with people like Robbie that I should at least go and find out what's happening?
It's true, but
why should I talk about it unless I experience it? I encourage parents to go. I think parents should be there.
Let me share with you some of the lyrics of punk rock soon. This is 917, right? Our hope is to just raise the curtain a little bit on the recent phenomenon of punk rock, which does have a number of parents very concerned. You should also know, as we discuss this, that most punk rockers are teenagers. A 20-year-old punk rocker is a senior citizen.
Yes, very much so.
Here are the lyrics from a punk rock song titled Revenge. Revenge, I'll watch you bleed. Revenge, that's all I need. I won't cry if you die, 'cause we're gonna get revenge. This is by the Black Flag. Next, spray paint. Spray paint the walls. There isn't room for someone like me. My life is their disease. Spray paint the walls. And finally, Nazi punk. Punk ain't no religious cult. Punk means thinking for yourself. You ain't hardcores 'cause you spike your hair when a jock still lives inside your head. This is a song by a group which calls themselves the...
Tell them the name of the song.
The group, the name of the song is Nazi Punk, and the group is called...
Oh, it's not.
It's called The Dead Kennedys.
That's not the name of the song.
All right, what's the name of the song?
Nazi punks.
Yeah, that's why it didn't say that on my... So is obscenity then part of the scene? Is the... Let me try and give you an analysis, some of the suggestions as to what might cause people like yourself to behave this way. Now, don't get crazy. I'm not passing judgment here, and you are free to comment on this very simplistic analysis. I'm not claiming this is right. I'm claiming that this is one of the suggestions offered. You are turned off by a society which is, to be sure, filled with corruption, a lot of bored people, a lot of drinking, a lot of injustice. No doubt about it. I'm not sure there's anyone who ever lived that couldn't make that comment about his or her own society, but nevertheless, that doesn't excuse it. And it is true also that there are a lot of sins among us. And many of those sins are the responsibility of the ruling class, as you might call them. Fine, granted. And what you've done here is make yourself so bizarre that you are in effect saying, now look see how I look? Do you love me anyway? Do you love me now? That there is some sort of comfort in your own absurdity, and that what you are doing is getting some joy out of making this corrupt society angry at you. The angrier we get at you, the more satisfied you are with your own presentation. How do you feel about amateur analysts here?
Well, I think that's partially true, that part of the thing is to incite anger, because the punks were sick of this whole hippie thing in the 60s where everybody was just laying back, and the way it deteriorated into the 70s, everybody just not caring and doing nothing.
Yeah. Don't you feel silly, though?
No.
What's your, how do you feel about the future, your future?
That's pretty ambiguous.
Yeah. You don't care?
Not really.
How about, you know, if you don't work, you don't eat. Huh? He's a what?
All right.
He's a moron. Why is he a moron?
I'm just giving you...
Yeah, well, why is he a moron?
He's just a silly guy. I mean, he's got a dumb haircut. I mean, see, the thing about it is, if you can be a punk rocker or you can be a silly fool, you know, you can make yourself, you know, like they're talking about cutting yourself up or taking a lot of drugs or anything like that. And you can do that kind of stuff, and you can have a stupid purple haircut or anything like that, or you can listen to music that says something about evil stuff, you know. Yeah. And you can still have class. You can still be a regular person and listen to that kind of music. You don't have to be that silly.
I agree with you. There are different levels of involvement. I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm reaching out to a lot of you guys that if you could do something to help younger kids too. And that's one of the reasons why I got involved, was to get other kids involved too, and parents.
The issue is punk rock and its followers, and we hope you'll join us.
Guess what I did last night? The night before my wedding. Gave myself a perm. Not just any perm. Rave, soft perm. Rave is so gentle it looks right the day you do it. There's no frizz and absolutely no odor. Looks so natural. You'd never guess I permed last night.
No ammonia, no odor, no frizz. Rave, so gentle.
It looks right the day you do it.
Try Rave Soft Hairspray, too.
Honey, breakfast!
Great coffee.
Yeah, it's Maxwell House Master Blend.
Oh, isn't that supposed to save us money?
Mm-hmm. It only tastes expensive.
Master Blend, a special blend of 100% coffee we make a special way so you can save money. Master Blend, it only tastes expensive.
You've got to get away from your city notions about cheese. You've got to come to Land O'Lakes. Out here, it takes 4 quarts of milk. That's 8 pounds to make a single pound of cheese. Rich, full, a creamy kind of honesty. Land O'Lakes 4-quart cheddar, 4-quart American. Fixed our way with stubbornness, pride, and 4 quarts of fresh milk.
Eagle asks, what do you do for a cold at night?
Shh, my husband has a bad cold, but now he's sleeping like a baby. I didn't give him NyQuil. I gave him something new from Comtrex.
Introducing Comtrex Nighttime. Try it at night instead of NyQuil, because Comtrex Nighttime has more strong medicine than NyQuil for aches, pains, and fever, plus up to 8 full hours of cough relief.
Feel better with Comtrex Nighttime, now a key buy at Eagle. The price will help you feel better, too.
We're gonna have a TV party tonight. All right! We're gonna have a TV party, all right!
I'd like to address the punk rockers, the people in the punk rock movement. It's okay the way you look, that's fine. But in a long-term basis, I'm really interested in what's next? What happens now? I really get the feeling that you guys are really angry. And I want to know that's okay to be angry, but what happens now? Now that you look this way?
Why do you think they are?
Why do I think they're what? Well, by the way they've talked.
I mean, what made them angry?
What made them angry? The society.
Does it make you angry?
In general, yeah. Yeah.
Do you show your anger?
In not as overt ways, but yeah, I show.
How do you show your anger?
What?
How do you show your anger?
By getting mad.
Who? Who can you
Not
tell?
overtly. I don't.
Why are you?
Look.
Why are you asking, Jeff?
Well, I was just wondering.
Are you angry?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you're angry at? Let me show him a picture of you just 2 years ago.
No, don't.
You're 16, and this is how you looked 2 years ago. Jeff, I asked you what you were angry at.
I don't like government, period. And I don't like school. You know, I'd like to go, but I don't like the rules they've set. It seems like they're stuck on, I lost the word. I don't know, they'd rather punish you. It seems like they're more stuck on punishment than letting you learn. You know, if I ditched school one day, okay, so I got suspended. Well, first I got detention, and I didn't go, so I got suspended. And that seems to me a stupid punishment. If you miss a day, you should have to go another day.
Jeff is also really angry at his mother, and I think that should come out. There's a lot of anger.
Why, they want to know.
Yeah, I do. I still kind of blame her for my stepdad. My stepdad, we got in a lot of fights. And he didn't leave until we got in a real big fight. And it was really scary, and I still blame her.
Oh, you didn't like him?
You didn't like him, they're asking?
No. Anything to you?
How does Mom comment on that?
Mom's in between.
Well, we are separated now. Jeffrey blames me for remarrying, and he did not give me permission to remarry. So I realize that. But that's...
Jeffrey needs a good spank. All right, I had already about 6 questions lined up, but now I've got one here.
When he goes out in class and gets hurt all by himself.
Let her talk her.
What gives you the right to ask permission or want permission from her for anything? Well, first of all, I think we'll go back. I don't care what you say. You say you want to be individuals and different. You're not when you're a unit. Right there, you're a unit. That's conforming in a unit, like any other unit. We're a unit, you're a unit. But you're not being individual because I see a lot of likenesses sitting there.
You look a lot alike.
We don't think alike. All right, hold it just a second. We'll give you a chance.
I just want to tell Jeff that I think if I was like him and I had a mother that stood by me like that, boy, I'd be real happy.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Too good to be true.
Yes, I am.
Not you, this Aldi Price.
It's great.
It's unbelievable.
Believe it.
But I don't recognize this brand name. What about quality?
Taste.
It's divine.
It's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed.
And check out the canned goods.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I am.
Not you, Aldi.
I believe it. Aldi. Quality you can believe in at unbelievable prices.
Joseph Papp presents Gilbert and Sullivan's Tony Award-winning Pirates of Penzance.
Thrills, thrills, spills and chills. The Pirates of Penzance has sex and song and dance and fights, polites and tights. The Pirates of Penzance has laughter and romance and tears, fears, cheers. The Pirates of Penzance is here.
Now at the Schubert Theater. Call 977-1700 for tickets.
Nestle announces a better homemade oatmeal cookie.
A better oatmeal cookie? It is better.
It's Nestle Oatmeal Scotchies. Better because you bake them up butterscotchy rich with Nestle Butterscotch Morsels. The foolproof recipe is on the package. Oatmeal Scotchies. A better oatmeal cookie.
Better oatmeal cookie. It is better.
It's the butterscotch of Nestle Butterscotch Morsels that makes them better.
What's going on at Carriage House?
Ethan Allen's winter sale. Winter's my favorite time of year. I just saved on a marvelous selection of Ethan Allen furniture to make dining rooms elegant, bedrooms cozy, living rooms beautiful, all on sale. But hurry, winter won't last forever.
Hurry to Carriage House and save on Ethan Allen furnishings. 5 convenient locations: Arlington Heights, Gurnee, LaGrange, Skokie, and Wheaton.
The Third World War, you too will meet the secret police. They'll draft you and they'll jail your niece.
Ursula Lukanau is here, as we've established. She is a member of Parents of Punkers. This is a group with the help of Serena, who meet and try and understand what's happening, and understandably are anxious and concerned about the well-being of their children. This is your son, Oliver. I'm not sure, how old was he here?
He was 14.
14 here.
14.
Now, after becoming involved in the punk rock scene, here's how he looks. What happened?
Well, what happened? He got out and he listens to the music a lot. And
were there any bizarre incidents?
well, my husband left home. We are separated.
Do you think that's?
Because of him? Because of your son? Well, not because of my son, but that's what he said afterwards, yes.
I mean, you're a parent. Don't you think you should, talk things over with your children? Just like they said detentions. I agree as school goes. Why is he so resentful towards his mother? Everybody has to lead their own life. Yes. But, a parent, okay, if you're going to get married for the second time, I think you should sit down with your children. I'm divorced and I have 2 children, and we're very close. I mean, I think people don't take it to a level where you can be compatible and you can sit down and talk things out. I think you get too rebellious all the time and you never want to let them speak and get their anger out. And they should have a right to get their anger out.
He did have a right to speak when we married.
I agree that they have to get their anger out. This way?
I guess by definition I'm an ancient punk rocker just because I went to a bar and I'm not in my teens. But the things I observed at this bar were very upsetting to me. I saw a lot of homosexual activity, a lot of really bizarre behavior. And I know that this isn't true of all punk rockers, but the things that people are exposed to, I think it has to have an effect on teenagers. And it's like it was all the bizarre norm, the people that did not want to accept fitting into the realm. They were being so bizarre and being so totally different that they're never going to be accepted. And how are we preparing students for adults and for society?
Yeah, back here.
I just can't believe that after talking about not wanting
to be judged by their looks that this guy in the back row called the guy with the purple hair a moron because of his dumb haircut.
Yeah, that was a judgment you brought. You allow yourself to condemn people, but you get upset when others do. Yeah.
Well, I think there might, to me it seems like some of you are just doing it for fun. Okay, this is a new fad. But I think some others, maybe you're having a responsibility problem. You can't accept responsibility for yourselves.
When I first came, I had a real open mind, and I still just don't understand why they do it. I mean, do you just sit down one day and go, oh, I want a term punk?
Yeah. Yeah.
The gentleman over here used the term fun, and he said it, and it's just plain fun. I would like to know why he would use a definition. What do they do?
Yes. You'll stand? Yeah.
First of all, it wasn't, the statement made wasn't that it wasn't just fun, it was an added benefit that we happen to enjoy what we're doing. It's not something we find...
Fun should come first.
Doing.
Making a statement that maybe this world isn't such a wonderful place to live in.
But
First of all.
I would like to interject.
Like that one woman said about the parents had a lot to do with it. I think these younger kids, it has a lot to do with the way their parents bring them up. I mean, my parents brought me up, okay, and I'm not going out beating myself and doing all these things they're doing in California. And California is a lot different than it is here.
That lady said that we're not responsible. We take care of ourselves. A lot of us work. It takes a lot of guts to do what we're doing, to walk down the street and be ostracized by the rest of society.
Could I ask you something? How old are you?
I'm 24.
You're 24. How do you think a 14-year-old digests this? How do you think I feel when I get at least 2 or 3 crisis phone calls per day where Ursula's son comes home with his head split open, where Ursula's son has his hand broken 5 times in 1 month?
I'll tell you what I think of that.
Cigarette burns.
I'll tell you what I think of that.
Arms.
I think they got bad parents. That's what I think of that.
It shows that it's the upbringing.
No. Digest the 6 o'clock news. How does a kid digest the 6 o'clock news, or how does he digest, you know?
Tell me about the 6 o'clock news. What do you see?
War, man. War, hate, violence, destruction.
Okay, is the answer then to cut yourself up and put
No, we don't do that. We don't do that. Where's the cut marks?
But we do.
We don't do that stuff.
How many kids do you get that are real young, that are on drugs or are into self-mutilation that have nothing to do with punk rock?
None.
Well, does that make it right? Does that make it right?
No, I can't say
Okay,
none.
as a healthcare professional, why don't you use your energy to do something really good? Help the elderly, the poor, children who really need help, instead of being an example.
Because the whole world needs help. It's like,
What are you doing to help?
Wait a minute.
Then why are you yelling at me for trying to close the gap? One of the things I'm trying to do is kids are disconnected from their families right now. Why do I get obscene phone calls and every single day people yelling and screaming at me and telling me, get out of it? I can't even say half these things right now which have been said to me. Why shouldn't you then encourage me to get the kids back together again with their parents? Why don't you guys go out there and
You're not trying to get them back together with their parents. You're trying to get them to be just like their parents.
How do you know that?
No.
How do you know that?
And let me make this point.
Why don't you ask Jeff?
I've been going to straighten. Do I look like my mom? Do I act like my mom?
I've acted with my parents.
How do you know? Wait, I want to know how you know that that's what she's trying to do. Do you know anything about this lady?
Why doesn't she sell?
She's trying to.
Anything about her?
I'd like to know how well her book is doing.
Yeah. Yes.
Does it matter?
I'd like to know what these people think they're doing for society. If they don't like it, what are they doing to make it better? And secondly, I'd like to ask one of the ladies, if they had a baby, how would they bring up their children that would help? I mean, what would they do?
Yeah. Okay, you think we're not doing anything. We're trying to disseminate information to people about getting up and doing something. That's what the music is all about, doing something. That lady gets mad. She doesn't do anything. She just gets mad. We are active. We go out and we do something about it.
You hurt.
What? What do you do?
As a former hood, as a former hood in the 50s, I rebelled. I had my little chains, and I didn't like the school system either. So I rebelled then. Then in the 60s, I became a flower child, tossing away the responsibilities. But reality catches up, and you will Come back to reality. Reality is raising your family, holding a responsible job, and helping others. And you will outgrow your little thing. I did.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
You'll learn the meaning of easy cleaning with the only foam that's Lysol. When you foam the tub, you don't have to scrub with the only foam that's Lysol.
When I clean the bathroom, I want to know I'm killing germs, so I use Lysol Basin Tub and Towel Cleaner. Its foaming action kills household germs, shines without scratching, stops mold and mildew. Lysol Basin Tub and Towel Cleaner.
The only foam that's Lysol.
You sure sign a lot of autographs, Mr. Hall.
Well, that's true, but my friend over here signs a lot more.
Who's he?
That's Don Tyson. He makes Tyson Country Fresh Chicken.
Why does he sign so many autographs?
Well, because he personally guarantees every package of Country Fresh Chicken.
How can he do that?
Well, it's easy. It's government grade A fresh chicken. Say, Don, how about coming over here and autographing my legs?
Why not, Tom? They look like chicken legs.
Tyson Country Fresh Chicken. Fresher by a country mile.
Come join the fun at Lee Ward's grand opening celebration. Come take a look. Our brand new stores are filled with hundreds of great craft ideas. And this week only, there'll be sale prices everywhere in all of our stores, plus how-to craft demonstrations. And to really celebrate, we'll be giving away $20 gift certificates every hour.
And the winner is Debbie Craig.
Hey, that's me. It could be you. So come join the fun at Lee Ward's. It's worth the trip.
Lee Ward's, America's Home Craft Center.
Marshall Fields has beauty news and values especially for you. Neutrogena soap and rain bath at wonderful savings. The 6-bar box of Neutrogena soap in your choice of 3 formulas is now just $9. The 32-ounce rain bath shower gel is just $20. Another value at Marshall Fields is Nina Ricci's Young Romantic L'air du Temps. The 1.6-ounce eau de toilette spray is now just $12. So discover the values that are making beauty news at Marshall Fields.
Mizell's Furs announces a $5 million clean sweep clearance sale. Everything must go. Mink, fox, raccoon, and many others. An incredible variety of styles and colors priced so low you'll look twice at the price tag. Fur jackets, fur coats, everything must go. Mizell's accepts all major credit cards. They have a convenient layaway plan, and financing is available. Mizell's Furs $5 million clean sweep clearance sale. Everything must go.
That's the sound of punk rock, and we have a number of people who enjoy that music. Yes, it's loud. Yes, the lyrics are often irreverent, often profane, and the general message seems to be society is a crock. Often the attitude is my parents are corrupt, and I assume you feel there's certainly not enough love to go around, and this is your manifestation of rebelling against it. Yeah.
You say you have jobs. What type of jobs do you have, and do you go dressed the way you are?
There's a suspicion in this audience that your rebellion is financed by someone else. That in fact, many of you who make these obscene statements about the so-called society are people who are actually living with handouts from either your parents or other people who love you.
Okay, first of all, I've been working as a broker in a plastic house for the last 4 years. I'm a salesman. I'm very good at my job. That's number one. A couple of points I'd like to make is that the only thing I'm worried about is in this so-called anti-movement is that it smacks to me of a witch hunt. It smacks to me of a witch hunt. Simply, I mean, like anti-ERA. I mean, they've even got a movement against
really
video
like
games.
To be able to.
I mean, how far can you? Where else can you go after this?
Yeah. Video games do create an awful lot of wasted energy and time.
Okay, well, when I was a kid and I was given my allowance, I was allowed to spend it where I went. If I blew it, I blew it. That was it. I didn't go out.
Phil? Phil, I would really like to address that because this is not an anti-movement. The purpose of this is to get the kids back together again with their parents. The kids are disconnected from their families. I don't believe in throwing them out. I'm getting them back together. That's what I did with Jeff and Nancy, and that's what I did with Robbie and her family.
Over here, please.
I'd just like to know, what is your idea of a perfect society? You keep saying, you know, I'm against government. I am too. I'm middle class. I'm paying for the taxes for the rich and supporting the poor. But, you know, what are you? What is?
I mean, aren't you angry? They want to know.
Sure.
Yeah.
My idea of a good society would be one where people are allowed to express their differences, allowed to be different, without being like harassed in the street.
So so that the unusual way you present, you think, provokes the very thing about this culture that you don't like, namely its conformity and its refusal to accept different.
Why should people have to conform to everything? You know, why?
Yeah.
You know, why does what's the point of being the same as everybody else?
And they also made fun of and persecuted Jesus, who was different.
Yes.
Wore sandals, long hair.
Oh, I don't know if he was different than that. He had different ideas.
Why have you what?
What?
Why have you got the armband on?
Which armband?
You'd like to represent? It's an anti-Nazi.
They're saying it's anti-Nazi.
I don't care if it's anti.
Well, the point is it.
Yeah. Okay, that armband right there, okay? You were saying before about that song called Nazi Punk. That song is not called Nazi Punk.
Right.
It's called, wait.
Wait a minute, just a minute. I can't let you use the profanity. So you're gonna have to deal with that.
I'm not gonna say the word, all right? Okay, the word, you know, okay.
It means bug out. Nancy, in other words, it's a condemnation of Nazis.
It's right. Okay.
Yeah, you wanted to say what? I haven't heard from you yet. You were yelling at her. I'm not sure what your point was.
She was saying that she didn't care that it didn't say no Nazis. What it stands for is, what she wanted to say was that she didn't care, and we want to say that we do care. We don't want fascism in this country, and that's what's coming. We don't want it. Do you want it?
Yeah. What's the matter? Tell me how you feel. Hang on for a second. You're not going to what?
Listen, I just can't understand how a group of young people can even walk around looking that way.
Yeah.
My goodness, if you don't, go to work like everybody else, get up in the morning, you know, and just be a good citizen and help other people and be a good Christian, you're accomplishing absolutely nothing.
Let me try and chat here for a second. Just give me a chance, all right? One of the points I think that they're making, and a point which is somewhat confirmed in the attitudes revealed in this audience, is that the adult community, you and I included, are much more likely to get a hysterical,
I don't get it.
excuse me, about appearance, rather than being concerned about substance. That we get crazy about the length of the hair of our kids.
When your appearance is like their appearance, I'm like, what else can you think? I have 4 children of my own. I would not allow any of my kids to walk out the door looking that way.
Yeah. What if they insisted on it?
I couldn't insist. I'm the mother.
How would you? But what if they rebelled?
No. My husband works pretty darn hard to support our 4 children. And we expect something back from them, just a little respect. I don't expect my kids to pay room or board or to give them...
You wouldn't throw them out of the house, though.
Yes, if they joined a group like that, yes.
You would stop loving them and throw them out of the house.
No, I wouldn't stop loving them.
But you would throw them out of the house.
But there is no way anyone like that could live under the roof of my house. Why? No, just because I gave these kids life and brought them into this world, I don't deserve that.
Would it hurt your middle-class ego?
You want to talk to her? Robbie, talk to her.
No, would it
Hold it just a second. Let Robbie talk to
the
this.
middle-class ego that you have with your friends?
I don't have a middle-class ego.
But then why can't your...
I'm a depression child with a family of 6. My father was on WPA working his fanny off her ass the way
So your kids are going to have to work their fanny off for their kids someday, too.
We had to do what we can to bring ourselves up into this world, and we helped my mother and dad, and I don't want anything for my children except a little love and respect, but I don't expect my kids to go running around like a bunch of
They want the same thing. If they're going to get into something, they want the same thing from you. Let them pay their taxes like the rest of us and help everybody else, and the people that need it. Hey, listen, kids, get with it, clean yourselves up, and go to work.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Are you good at sewing and hopeless at knitting and crochet? Or do you knit well and sew badly? Stitch by Stitch can show you where you go wrong and how to put things right. Step-by-step pictures and helpful diagrams really make it easy to learn new skills. In issue 1, you can learn enough about crochet to make this cozy baby bag. We'll even teach you needlepoint. Collect a new issue of Stitch by Stitch every week. Issue 1 at your supermarket, drugstore, and newsstand now.
We're gonna make you feel beautiful. Put a smile on your face. Make you feel like a star.
This is Martina Navratilova, and I'll be there. It's going to be the best tennis you have ever seen.
Martina Navratilova and other stars compete at Rosemont Horizon. Thompson Vacations presents Avon Tennis Championships. Get your tickets now.
Tender, loving, clean, tender, loving, clean. Baby Fresh gets baby tender, loving, clean.
Baby Fresh was born to get babies clean. Tender, loving, clean. Thicker than the pop-up wipes, bigger than the other leading folded wipes, so each cushiony sheet has the right combination to clean baby better. Clean means less chance of diaper rash. No wonder more mothers use Baby Fresh wipes.
Tender, loving, clean. Baby Fresh gets baby tender, loving, clean.
That's Baby Fresh clean.
Recently, in a nationwide taste test, Diet Cola drinkers were asked to taste the leading Diet Colas. Then, we asked which Diet Cola tasted best. And guess what? More people preferred the taste of Diet Right. Taste the one that won. Delicious Diet Right Cola.
We'll be happy to show you that address later. With time running out, yes.
I wonder if these people would fight for our country if a war broke out.
No! No. How do you feel about it?
I think that they stink then because our country is something we should all be proud. Would you hate Nazis?
Just hang on just a second. Let me ask you, is it your view that whenever this country calls a war, that all young men are obliged to respond?
I believe they should. If they're an American, we should be proud of our country. Sure, maybe now they don't like the government and they don't like the way things are going.
I'm not demanding you agree, but that's another misgiving they have. See, they're saying that that's blind patriotism, and that's the kind of thing that gets us into Vietnam, and that's the kind of thing that'll get you 57,000 young men coming home in plastic zipper bags. So they want you to think for yourself and not be such a puppet, a kind of knee-jerk, responsive person to a government that may or may not call a war in its own best interest.
Yeah, I agree with that, but who's going to protect the country? These are young people.
Yes.
How are you planning on changing society? Exactly how?
Yeah.
Well, that was, of course, a leading question, and everyone knows it's not going to change. Well, all we can do is say what we want to people who are going to listen, and you know, suggest ways of getting to the. Oh, come on! He said one-liners. We can't be here all day.
I want to know such as.
All right, Phil. Here's a couple of buttons that show a couple of ideas that if you keep them in mind.
Well, one says bomb shelter, and one says is an anti-sex sign. Stamp out sex, I think this is.
The idea in my mind is that, personally, I don't really care to see Brooke Shields all over TV and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, so you're against what you think then is sexploitation. So would you want a board to determine what is?
No.
Well, how do you do that then?
No, I mean, people, each individual person. Let's just say this: there are intelligent people in, you want to call it punk movement, there are very intelligent people there. There are idiots. The same number of idiots in here, and same number.
You're upset at the prejudice which is directed at you. All right, okay. Let's get. You're Serena's husband, are you?
Yeah.
All right. You wanted to make what?
Yeah, I think the point should be made that suicide plays a role, that one of the heroes of the punk movement, Darby Crash, committed suicide. There's a group called suicide. And I think there should be some comment in terms of the self-mutilation and self-destruction aspects.
I would just like to make a comment to the audience real quick.
All right, give me a chance here. They want, you're on the record. They want this audience to know that that ain't them. And they feel and they're upset at the suggestion that because they're in the punk rock movement, they're going to mutilate themselves or commit suicide.
But I would like to just say to the audience, take a look at these kids. Do you think a 14 or 15-year-old will reach it to this age if they start at 12, 13, and 14 years old? Do you think they're old enough to act this way and digest this type of message?
These people are and how many of them actually have jobs and what are they doing? And who
All right, you all have jobs. Raise your hand. How many have jobs here? They're all saying they do have jobs, all right? Yes, ma'am.
Do they dress like that for work, or do they have different,
You wear that, do you look like that all the time?
Well, I just dressed up for today.
Hang on just a second. Yes, let me get this audience in here.
Let me ask Jeff a quick question. If you want your mother's permission before she remarries, do you expect to get her permission before you marry?
I didn't ask her permission. She asked me what I thought because we'd lived with him, and I hated him then. Okay?
This is the second
She asked what I thought, and I gave her an answer.
Yeah.
They contradict everything they say. He's wearing a T-shirt that says, "I don't care." Well, what's he doing here?
My impression is they are just simply trying to call attention to themselves. That's all, like a spoiled child.
Yeah. This is not to... let's make sure that the point about the fact that a number of people who get involved in this are perhaps too immature to really make decisions for themselves. And I think we have a right to expect you to be concerned about that too. Okay, that's one. The second point is there's a lot of the attitudes which trouble young people everywhere are reflected in this audience. We are rigid. We are frightened, to be sure. Every parent is frightened. Frightened about freeways, frightened about pot, frightened about whether our children will come home in an erect position that night, will they be able to walk, all those things. And when people stand up on this program, well-dressed people stand up and say, "I'd throw them out of the house," that is a reflection of an attitude which is dividing this country, turning more and more kids off. And whatever happened to the old unconditional idea of love for parents?
Phil, I wouldn't throw my son out. I love my son. But they're using drugs, which scare you.
Yes.
They're using alcohol in combination with the drugs to enhance the drugs. And you never know what is going to be the next day.
This group wants you to know that they share your concern.
Yeah, I feel sorry for these ladies that are here. Their heart has to be really feeling terrible. I would feel terrible if it was my kid.
Yeah.
Do they vote?
Do you what?
Do they vote? You say you don't.
We're out? Yeah.
Oh. Don't you understand that?
I'd like to know how you're going to keep fascism out of this country if you're not willing to protect it. And we all have reasons to be angry at our parents, our church, at our government, but you don't solve it like that.
Look,
how would you solve it?
I've heard them say that they're against a lot of things. I've yet to hear them say what they really stand for.
Freedom. They say they stand for freedom.
They have it.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Spectrum, Chicagoland's fastest-growing subscription TV, brings more excitement to your home. More than 95 hours every week of movies like the powerful Raging Bull and The Competition, live sports like the Championship Holmes-Cooney fight, and now Spectrum starts at 9 a.m. on weekends for more hours when you want to watch. Hurry, if you act now, Spectrum will give you half-off installation. Call 952-1000. Spectrum, the entertainment service that gives you more.
Easy does it. Just relax. Lean back, watch TV. Open up that magic box and look at what's inside. Nothing gets you into it like TV Guide.
TV Guide previews your pleasure, tells you more about what's on, what's going on with TV. This week and every week, get more out of television by TV Guide.
Nothing gets you into it like TV Guide.
The Mill Run Theater proudly presents Connie Francis, the best-selling female recording artist of all time, live in concert at the Mill Run Theater, January 22nd and 23rd. Connie Francis, in her first Chicago appearance in years, at the Mill Run Theater, January 22nd and 23rd. Tickets at the box office, Ticketron, or call 298-2170.
Eagle knows what to do when life gets too tough.
Life's tough, we're all right. Interest rates, mortgages, my husband and I both working. Sometimes I get an awful headache.
Life got tougher, and we got stronger. Extra strength Excedrin, with the two most powerful pain relievers you can buy, plus a third ingredient to give you unsurpassed headache relief.
Good job, Excedrin.
Life got tougher, and we got stronger.
Extra strength Excedrin, a key buy at Eagle. When life gets tougher, Excedrin gets stronger.
Hunt's tomato paste is better than my favorite brand? Oh.
Will most women who cook Italian food like Hunt's tomato paste better than their regular brand? Which one's richer?
This one. Hunt's.
Which tastes better?
Hunt's.
Which will make better spaghetti sauce?
Hunt's.
And which will add the best flavor to all your Italian cooking?
Hunt's.
Thick, rich Hunt's tomato paste. Taste it yourself.
I'm amazed. It's true. Hunt's tastes best.
For a savory difference, try new Hunt's Italian-style paste.
If you would like a written transcript of today's program, send $2.50 in check or money order to Donahue Transcripts, Box 2111, Cincinnati, Ohio 45201. Include the subject or the name of the guest with your request.
The support group called Parents of Punkers is at 14034 Pioneer Boulevard, Norwalk, California. The zip is 90650.
I'd just like to say that this experience has showed me how wonderful my parents really are, because they understand me and love me in spite of the way I look. Do you understand that? And I love my parents a lot. I would fight and die for my parents, but I won't fight for my country. And I think that you should understand that.
Yeah. Robbie, you wanted to say what as a former punker? What's your point?
Yeah, I mean, I was where you guys were at, and then I had to conform just to like make peace, and I still have my freedom. I still do what I want and everything.
Can we get this in for just a second? You know, you really have demonstrated that you're not. You're obviously very insightful. You're creative. I think we can even say you're courageous. It isn't easy to walk down the street, and this. I understand that. Don't we have a right to expect you to, though, manifest some concern about the young people that you sweep up in this movement, that get caught up in that? All right, we don't see any evidence of that, though, and you think you are. All right.
Anti-drug.
You're anti-drug.
If a little kid like that came into a club.
I'm sorry, what?
If a kid like that came into a club in this city and was doing drugs, we'd kick him out, or somebody like that. Somebody that messed up came in. We wouldn't accept them into our city.
They wouldn't accept them. All right. I have time. All right. Jeff, are you thinking, are you going to get out of this?
Huh?
Will you get out of this?
Will I get out of it?
Yeah.
No, I'll probably pretty much be the same. I probably won't look like this when I'm older, but I'll still have the same ideas.
Yeah, that's right.
I have time only to thank you very much for sharing with us this hour, and hope you have a nice day.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Jenny, pay attention this time.
This child looks like she's daydreaming, but it could be a form of epilepsy that, like many others, can be controlled by medication.
Jenny, you've been daydreaming again.
Epilepsy. It's not what you think. Get the facts. Write epilepsy, Washington, D.C. 20036.
Debbie Boone lights up the stage in 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. It's a musical romance that sings and dances and dances and dances and dances and dances. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers begins February 3rd at the Erie Crown Theater. For tickets, 312-791-6000.
MCI has gotten a few interesting letters lately that we'd like to share with you.
Thanks to MCI, we've cut our phone bills from $120 to $60 a month.
I was a skeptic at first, but not anymore.
I love it, and so does my boyfriend.
This is my first bill, and I'm delighted with MCI's prices.
I'm with MCI to stay.
It's great, so far.
If your long-distance bills are $25 or more, call MCI and join the rest of the country in cutting them down to size.
I like burgers, fries, and chicks, but Ron's chicken tastes better.
I like Mama's salmon cakes, but Brown's chicken tastes better.
We like tacos, chili, and dips.
Egg roll, pasta, fish and chips.
Pizza with onions and licorice whips.
But Brown's chicken tastes better.
Brown's chicken does taste better. It's cooked by our time-proven recipe with no heavy spices.
Pickles and rice are very nice, but Brown's chicken
tastes better.
This is it, this is it. This is life, the one you get. So go and have a ball. This is it, this is it. Straight ahead and rest assured, you can't be sure at all. So while you're here, enjoy the view. Keep on doing what you do. Hold on tight, we'll muddle through one day at a time. One day at a time. So up on your feet.